my dear students. Welcome to Kingdom Animalia Chapter 4, Session 15. Let me share the screen and start today's class without wasting any time, because today we are going to study three classes which have interlinked with one another. Means the characters are interlinked to one another. So it's necessary for me to club all these three classes in a single session so that it makes you understand easy the concepts what are there in all these three classes. So the screen is in front of you. Dear students, today's class we are going to study the first class of subphylum Vertebrata, phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, and class Cyclostomata. Cyclostomata I mentioned in my previous class. What does it mean? Class Cyclostomata. Now, class Cyclostomata, if you see in my previous class itself, I said you the meaning of the term Cyclostomata. The word cyclo refers to what? Cyclo refers to round. Round or circle, I said. Stoma refers to mouth. So these are aquatic organisms whose mouth is circular and it is not having any jaws. Mouth without jaws, but a circular mouth. Going on through the general characters, most of the general characters will be easy for you today because we have come across these terms in our previous classes itself. They are ectoparasites. As I mentioned, there are two types of parasites. Endoparasites which live within the body of the organism, and ectoparasites which are free living, but they come, they absorb the nourishment and they leave the host. So these Cyclostomata organisms are ectoparasites. They have elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits. Gill slit, I want to show you the photo of that organism. See, if you see here, there are two examples for you to study, that is Petromyzon and Myxin. So no diagrams, just to mention the name. If you see the picture 1, you can see here gill slits which are open from outside. Inside that we can find gills which are respiratory in function. Even the other organism you can see in the second picture. Here also you can see the openings. These are gill slit which help the organism in respiration. Now, speaking about the third point, the mouth is circular without jaws for sucking. Without jaws for sucking. The same image you can see here. The first two diagrams you cannot make out. The third diagram you can see, I have shown the mouth is round and or circular. Mouth. I am circling it off. The mouth is circular, a sucker type, right? And it is having some hooks-like structure which can stick on to the host and absorb the nourishment. You see this image. This is a host fish. On that you can see that black, thick hair-like structure is nothing but this cyclostomats. They are sticking on to the host and they are absorbing the nourishment from the other organisms. That's why the sucker is helpful for them to stick on to the host. Scales and paired fins are absent. Generally, if you see fishes in your childhood, you might have drawn many fish, right? You will write the fin. You will write a fish like this, for example. You write a fish like this. I am writing rough fish. And you will write this fin. And you also write scales on the body. That generally everybody know. So these are not exactly fishes. Scales are also absent and paired fins are also absent. Paired fins are what we are going to study in today's class. So they are totally absent in these organisms. Fins are present but they are not paired. Scales are totally absent. The body will be slimy and moist, as you saw in the image. Cranium, the meaning I said. What does cranium in English refers to? Cranium refers to skull. Skull and vertebral column. Vertebral column is nothing but the notochord which is modified into backbone or vertebral column. They are cartilaginous. Cartilaginous means what? They are made up of soft bones. Circulatory system is of closed type. Now this point will be common in future classes. they are having well defined or well formed blood vessels through which the blood will be circulated throughout the body. They are marine. Actually, we wanted to speak this point first, but I'm going according to the textbook point. They are marine. Almost all of them are marine, but they migrate to fresh water. This point you have to concentrate carefully. They are found in sea water. ಸಮುದ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅದು. They go to fresh water. ನದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ and they spawn there. This spawning word usually comes, we use more in fishes and amphibian. Spawning means they're releasing the eggs in the water. The eggs will be visible to human eye. It's not microscopic. The eggs will be released into the water, and even the sperms also will be released into the water, and they fertilize in the water. So this type of fertilization, we can call them as external fertilization. Though they are not mentioned about the fertilization point, it is understood because we have come across these points many a times in our previous phylum. So they are marine, but they go to fresh water. ಸಮುದ್ರದ ನೀರಿಂದ ನದಿ ನೀರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್, reproduction and all are alternative names. Spawning is the right term to be used here. In general, reproduction. That's why I mentioned reproduction in fishes for you to understand. They go from marine water to fresh water. They lay the eggs and sperm there, and after laying or after releasing the eggs and sperm, they die. ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ತದೆ. And what happens? Those egg and sperms fertilize in that fresh water. They fertilize, they hatch out, they metamorphosize, and once they become adult, once they come to a stage, they come back to sea water. They return back to sea water. So they are basically marine. To spawn, they go to fresh water, and once they form larva, they metamorphosize and then they return back to sea water. So this is their life cycle. So there are only few points in this phylum. So 1 or 2 points are very, very important. Go through this. Now take a screenshot and you can replicate these points in your study material. I'll move on to the next slide or the next. So just before that, you can just see this is a big fish. On that, these parasite cyclostomes are sticking on and absorbing the nourishment. So these are the two example. Name you should know, myxin and petromyzon. Both of their mouth you can see it is circular. So the next class, the second class from phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, is class Chondrichthyes. Chondrichthyes means, I said you, in English we call them as cartilaginous fishes. Cartilaginous fishes. What does that mean? Their endoskeleton inside, body ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಮೂಳೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, and the skull, everything will be made up of soft bone that is called as cartilage. Going on through the general characters now, they are marine animals. That is very important. Marine word is very, very important. Almost all the cartilaginous fish are from marine habitat with streamlined body. What does this streamlined body refers to? The body, if you see from dorsal view, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, this shape will be there, almost pointed at the front, even and pointed at the back. So this is the view of a streamline. If you are still getting confused, I'll just complete the diagram. Idu kannu, these are the eyes, and this is the pectoral fins, dorsal fin, and the tail fin. So this, like this, the fish will be there if you see from above view. I will show you the schematic representation again, and mouth will be located ventrally. This we are going to study in detail again. Okay, so these are the terms which I am underlining is very, very important, and I have highlighted in other color also. Notochord is present throughout the life. Notochord the entire life alli irtade. Starting from its larval stage till the adult stage, the notochord will be remaining in the animal's body. Now what is the notochord? That is nothing but the rod-like supporting structure for the body. Gill slits are separate and without operculum. Operculum in the sense, see these, if you take a shark, Gill slits will be present here. 5 gill slits I am drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Roughly I am drawing. They will be separate. They are just openings. Inside that you will be finding the gills. Okay. Now coming on to the point, gill slits will be separate and they will not be covered by a shield like structure. Operculum we call it as. I will show you the image in the latter half of the class. So now what you should remember, they are chondrichthyes are having separated gill slits and they are not covered over by any shield like structure called as operculum. It is also called as gill cover. The skin is rough, tough, anything. Rough also it will be there, containing minute or microscopic scales called as placoid scales. This is very, very important. So starting 4 points are very, very important from your examination point of view. So if you see a shark, I'll show you. If you see a shark, you can see this shark, any of these three are cartilaginous fishes only. You can see the skin is very smooth, nice agiro tara kanisate, but no, the body will be having very, very minute scales, microscopic scales, very sharp scales called as placoid scales. Believe me, in olden days, these skin of shark was used as a sandpaper to make the surfaces smooth of wooden furnitures, etc. Okay, so those scales here I have shown you. The first one is the placoid scale, this one. This scale will be present in shark, very sharp but microscopic. Got it? Now teeth are modified placoid scales. Now see here, I want to go back to the same image. See here, this placoid scale, what you can see, the same scale in the mouth region gets modified and gets backwardly directed. Mundake tara chupiralla, backwardly directed like this. Yeah, you can see there. Shark teeth you can see here, opened one I have kept. This teeth is nothing but modification of the placoid scales in the mouth region, and it hurts very badly for shark, but it predates on humans also. It is also called as dogfish. And one more indication you will get here, if it bites means you should know from this class onwards, we are studying Cylcostomata. Their mouth is provided with powerful jaws. Okay, upper jaw, lower jaw, and also teeth is present, and the teeth is nothing but the modified placoid scales. Now, 6th point I said, they have jaws. That's why this class Chondrichthyes belong to Cylcostomata, the organisms having jaws. And the jaws are powerful, I have mentioned. 5th point is also important. These animals are predaceous. Example, shark I have given. Predaceous means they will not eat the dead fish or whatever it is. They attack and eat their food. That's why we call the word predaceous. Not even hunt. They will hunt and eat. That hunting word is not even predaceous because they will be having the selected food. They will not eat everything. Whichever is their food, they will attack it and eat. That's why they are called as predaceous animals. Due to the absence of air bladder, inside their body, there should be a balloon-like structure in fishes. That balloon-like structure is not present. That we call it as air bladder in fishes. So what this chondrichthyes will do, they will keep on swimming continuously, which makes them to avoid sinking, drowning into the seawater. So they will be continuously or constantly swimming to avoid stinking. So even 8th point is also important. Absence of air bladder. I will show you the photo image of air bladder and how it looks. So don't panic. So you can take a pause and take a screenshot now. I'll move to the next slide. Moving on to the 9th general character, they are having heart, ventral heart. Okay, they are having ventral heart, and heart is 2-chambered in fishes. This is also once again important question. How many chambers? Fishes in general, fishes or chondrichthyes are having 2 chamber. One will be the auricle, the other one will be the ventricle. I'll show you the photo. See here, this one. two chambers. Chamber 2, chamber 1, auricle and ventricle. Diagram is not required, just to show how a heart of a fish looks to. Some chondrichthyes have electric organs. Offensive and defensive in function, protection ge illa attack madodike. Example torpedo. And some will have poison sting. Poison sting. I will show you the photo. Trigon. See, this one is torpedo. This black image, what you can see. This highlighted region there, this structure is the electrical organ. It produces electricity. Understood? So that is a unique character of this class. And this one is the trigon. Here, if you concentrate and see properly, there is a poison sting, poison in a mullu. Okay, so that can cause death. So these are the two fishes with that it's a special modification. Now 11th point, again a very very important point. This we are going to carry on till the end of this phylum Chordata. They are cold-blooded. The other name is Poikilothermus. English name is cold-blooded. Actually, we are not supposed to use this cold-blooded word. Still in our textbook, this word is still persisting. Poikilotherm is the right term that a biology student should use. The word poikilos, note it down. Poikilos refers to fluctuating or varying. I will write one word. Fluctuate or change, vary. Thermos means temperature. These organisms are poikilotherms. They are found in marine water. If the water temperature is 27 degree, body temperature also will become 27 degree. If the water temperature is 35 degree, even their body temperature also will become 35 degree. If the water temperature is 18 degree, their body temperature also will be 18 degree. So the body temperature goes on fluctuating according to the ambient or the surrounding temperature. So such organisms are called as poikilotherms. Keep in mind, except birds and mammals, all the organisms till today, whatever we have studied, are poikilotherms. Okay, so they don't have the capacity to regulate their own body temperature. It's a very very important definition and a 1 mark or a 2 mark question. Sexes are separate. In males, pelvic fins bear claspers. Males will be having claspers. So two types of fins will be there, paired fins. So from now onwards, we will be having paired fins and paired limbs. Paired fins, two types of paired fins are there. One is towards the chest region. Okay, chest region, we call this one, okay. Pectoral fins. In our case, we are having girdles, pectoral girdles. So pectoral fins are paired. Joteli irodu anta ondond jote. Okay, so here near the chest region is called as pectoral fin, and when it comes near the hip region, in our case, okay, for them here this region, here one is visible, the other side also one will be there. So that is called as pelvic fins. These are the only paired fins in the body. Pectoral fins and pelvic fins are the fins. So in males, pelvic fins bear claspers. Means in this region of pelvic, near the hip region or the pelvic region here, okay, they will be having structure like this, both sides, that will help during mating or reproduction. Claspers helps during mating. And the last general character, if you see, they have internal fertilization. That means they mate with the help of claspers, and finally the sperms will be deposited into the female reproductive organ. And fertilization takes place inside the female reproductive tract, and they do not lay the eggs. They give birth to the young ones. That is the important point in case of Chondrichthyes. Small fishes will be given birth. So they are called as viviparous because they give birth to young ones. Examples you can see, Scoliodon is called as dogfish, shark, Pristis, this one is Pristis, sawfish. Gargasa tara ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. This region is like a saw. So this is Pristis, this is hammer-headed shark, and this is normal shark. Okay, trigon and torpedo I have shown in this diagram. So these are the general characters of phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, class Chondrichthyes. So 9th to 13th point with examples, you can pause and take a screenshot. I'll move to the next class. No diagrams are required even for today's class. Class Osteichthyes, I said you while explaining the flow chart or classification of phylum Chordata. Osteo refers to bone. Fishes. These are bony fishes. That means their endoskeleton, skull, backbone, or whatever it is, all are made up of bone. So these are collectively called as bony fishes. Going into the general characters or salient feature, they include marine as well as freshwater. Previous phylum we saw only marine, but here we see it can be found in marine water also, and means not all of them. Some are marine and some bony fishes are freshwater organisms with bony endoskeleton. I said what does bony endoskeleton refers to. Their body is streamlined. Again, the body is streamlined and mouth is terminal. There also the body was streamlined and the mouth was ventral there, but here mouth is terminal. Mouth is terminal. I'll show you the photo, okay, in another 10 minutes. They have 4 pairs of gills. Their paired gill slits were present, separate gill slits. Now they are having 4 pairs of gills now, which are covered by an shield called as operculum. See, this is streamline. I did the diagram and showed, but still this is a schematic representation. This is streamlined so that you can see it can cut open the water pressure and have a easy locomotion. See here, this is the eyes. Okay, so this will be the dorsal fin and this will be like this. They will be moving. So this structure is called a streamline. Both cartilaginous fishes and bony fishes both have streamlined body. And I was discussing about this shark has 5 gill slits, cut open structures. Inside this gill slits we find what? The gills. But here you can say this region is the operculum, the shield. It is lifted, and inside this operculum we can find gills. So operculum is present here, here operculum is absent. Gill slits is present here, here gills are present but not gill slits. Got the difference? The body is streamlined, mouth is mostly terminal. Most of them will be having mouth at the tip. That also I will show you exactly with the picture. 4 pairs of gills covered by a shield-like structure, and that is called as what? Operculum. Skin is covered by visible. The scales are visible. The scales are visible. Like previous phylum, we spoke about placoid scales, and those scales were like not visible for human eyes. Now they will be having. Second one, you leave it off. This is not mentioned in your textbook. See this round. See now, if we see katla fish and rohu fish, when we eat, we will see round scales, right? So this is the scale. So this one and this one. Cycloid, you can see cycloid, round scales, and ctenoid. Ctenophora. Cteno refers to what? Comb. You can find comb-like structure here. So these 2 scales are seen in bony fishes. Diagram is not required. Just to show you the photo I showed. That 4th point, almost all the points are important. 4th point is a unique point, is also important. Air bladder is present. In the previous phylum we said a balloon-like structure inside the body is absent. Here air bladder is present, so they need not swim constantly. So, and it helps to maintain the buoyancy, capacity to float or swim. Okay. Heart is two chambered, same point, repetition from Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. These two are common point for them. They are cold-blooded. Once again, I said cold-blooded. We should also use the other term. I said better use this term. The term is what? Poikilotherms. Poikilotherms is the right term to be used. But textbook they have mentioned cold-blooded. If you mention, not a problem. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. That means spawning happens here. What is that spawning? Female lays the egg in water, inside the water only, and sperms from males also is released in the water. Fertilization happens in the water medium, not inside the female body. Hence, the fertilization is called as external fertilization. The last point, they are mostly oviparous, egg laying. The previous class, Chondrichthyes were viviparous, but these are oviparous. That is a major difference. And examples you can see: flying fish, seahorse, fighting fish, angelfish. I will show you a glance of those photos because you may be knowing better photos you might have seen. See this one, flying fish. Flying fish means it will not fly like a bird. Actually, when I was studying, my teacher used to say it is a gliding fish. They just glide. Jump ಮಾಡೋದು frog ತರ hop ಮಾಡುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರ, but for a longer distance they can jump from one point to another point. So why? Because you can see the pectoral fin near the chest region is modified like a wing like structure. The pectoral fins are large, that will help that fish to glide or fly from one point to another point. But that is not a true flight or true flying character like a bird. The second one is the fish fighter fish. Third one is the angel fish, and fourth one is seahorse. Okay, that is also a bony fish. Now in this screen you can see, dear students, the different type of carps, bony fishes. This photo why I took, because these fishes you have commonly seen in market. If you are a Mysorean or this part of Karnataka, you can see these are all common sight for you when you go for a fish market. These are all bony fish with scales also you can see on the body. Round age scales nu kuda nodbodu. Katla, rohu, the gauri meenu, they use the common term. And in this diagram I showed you schematic representation of how a streamlined body will be there. And I want you to concentrate here, dear students. This region, can you see a blue color structure here? I will encircle it. Air bladder, that is the air bladder which gives the fish buoyancy. And also I want you to see this region, gills. Gills are present, but in bony fishes this will be covered by a shield like structure, this region, that we call it as operculum. Near the operculum they have cut and shown the inside part. So once again keep in mind, no diagram is required, just to show you I am showing this. So these are the examples for bony fish. So yeah, I went through slightly in a faster phase Cyclostomata, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, but I have completed every point in detail. If you find today's class is slightly faster, go back again, rewind, go through that point. And I believe if you have followed my previous class, it is not difficult for you to understand those terms. If at all there was some doubt, I will clear in this point, because this is a very important examination point of view, 5-mark question. Write the differences between cartilaginous fishes and bony fishes, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. If you are listening, listen carefully. This slide I am using to teach. Maybe the same points I have given to you in the study material also. That doesn't mean you have to write exactly like this. Yeah, this is the difference, but I want you to write in simple sentences what your teachers have taught in school days. Okay, I will go with the differences now. First point, Chondrichthyes have cartilaginous endoskeleton. This side you don't write simply bony endoskeleton, you write, first point at least you have to write they have cartilaginous endoskeleton. This side at least you write they have, you add it. Okay, that and all we cannot teach you in PUC. Writing skills we cannot teach you. Okay, that should come from you only. Don't rely or don't expect the teachers to do spoon feeding. From now, from PUC onwards, you should at least make to write your own sentence. At least what I am asking you, they are cartilaginous, they have cartilaginous endoskeleton. This side you write, they have bony endoskeleton. You can see how neatly I have shown. I have given serial number and I have put scale lines. But when you submit, when you write it in the notes, you don't use scale and all. That is very, very bad habit. You lose the marks. Second point, they have ventral mouth. Make a sentence. They have ventral mouth. This side terminal mouth. So first point is clear for you. Their endoskeleton is made up of soft bone. Here it is bony. Here you see they have ventral mouth. Now I am showing you with the diagram. Diagram is not required for you. This diagram you are going to draw in record. If at all there is practical. Okay. See, I am rounding it off. Ventral mouth. Mouth ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ. This side you see terminal mouth. Tip. Second point is also clear now. Third point, gills without operculum, or else you can modify and write. What happens? Here gill slits are present without operculum. Or you can also write gills are without operculum. Here gills are covered by operculum. Got it? Other you can also write like operculum is absent, operculum is present. Gill slits are present, gill slits are absent. But why to get confused? Stick on to the points what is given here. Okay. Now fourth one, air bladder is absent. Air bladder is absent. I said so. In shark we don't find air bladder in this region, but when it comes to carps and bony fishes, this region I'm drawing, can you see now? This region has an air bladder. Next, internal fertilization. Fusion of egg and sperm was happening in the female reproductive tract, but here the fertilization was happening outside the body in the water medium. So 6th point, many are viviparous. They give birth to young ones. Birth to young ones. Now here what happens? Mostly viviparous, so they lay eggs. And now if you see, next point, the last point, scales are placoid or placoid scales are present. Here cycloid or ctenoid scales are present. I showed you the scales image also, but diagram is not required. This is a very important question even from the examination point of view. Believe me, points are very easy. Only the thing is you have to go through. Understood? So now at this moment you can pause and take a screenshot and write this difference neatly 2 times in your study material. Hope you people have copied. You have taken screenshot of this bony fishes also and 2 slides of Chondrichthyes, point number 9 to 13 and 1 to 8. You people have taken the screenshot. And also today we studied what? Few general characters of Cyclostomata, the smallest class. So 3 classes we have studied: class Cyclostomata, class Chondrichthyes and class Osteichthyes. And finally we ended up with the differences, a very important question, differences between Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, and I asked you to make simple sentences and write, but all the key terms should be there. So today I am signing off from session 15, chapter 4, Animal Kingdom. I expect you to do homework on all these 3 classes. Thank you very much.